Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we...
Maybe I should start because you sound sick.
wait, you can't just cut me off. Wait,
You sound sick.
Let me sound more enthusiastic. Hold on.
Okay, try harder.
Just be better than you are. Okay. Hello, welcome to the Book Fix podcast, a podcast where we fix lives one book at a time. I'm your host, Cheli.
And I'm your host, Yajaira.
I'm going to keep that in. I feel like it just adds to just the layer of elephants that are currently in this room.
We have so many fucking elephants in this room right now. First of all, our audio has been fucking with us for the past 2 weeks, I think. I don't know. I've lost track.
And not just one of us. It's just both of us.
It's both of us.
It hasn't been a week for, good technical stuff. Everything's just been going to shit.
No, and
I like how hold on. I like how that was your first elephant into the room and not the fact that I'm fucking dying right now.
Oh, well, okay. Yes, Cheli is really sick right now. Cheli gets sick a lot when she has time off. So if you hear her sick again in the future, just be like, oh, it's spring break.
She's probably not doing anything. Dude, I don't even know where to start. It's been such a freaking month. And I keep looking at the fucking calendar and I'm like, how is it not even halfway? How is it not even halfway?
It's so funny that you say that because I feel the opposite. I feel like it's flying by. And
not me.
Yeah, so we've just been having a lot of problems. And thank you for being patient. Sorry.
I know.
It happens.
Originally, with Honey Girl, the issues were with my mic. There was a lot of static, whatever. And we filmed it again and it was fine. We posted it up. And then we filmed Skin of the Sea.
Actually.
And let me just say.
No. Wait, you're going ahead of yourself.
There was issues with that.
We refilmed Honey Girl. Okay, refilmed. And then for some reason, there was a portion of it when we were talking about the book tea that just went blank. There was we spoke about it, but there was no audio for some reason.
But the rest of the audio is connected to that audio and for some reason worked. But that section didn't.
Yeah, which was the book tea. So I feel like we were bewitched. We were.
Yeah, and we cut out the book tea, but then we were like, oh, we should talk about it in Skin of the Sea, only because we don't want people to think that never happened.
Yeah.
So let's mention it during our Skin of the Sea film. So we filmed Skin of the Sea, we recorded, and it was, dare I say, magical?
It really was. It was such a good episode. I really enjoyed filming that with you. And then I feel so bad because we had filmed Skin of the Sea and I uploaded my portion of it. So it was an hour and 20 minutes or so of me, right? And I uploaded it and then we hung out. And while we were hanging out, I saw that it kept saying error in the upload. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I just need to do it again. Sometimes that happens. So then I got home. Well, we left each other. It was pretty late in the night. And it was so great to catch up with you. Loved seeing you. But then I tried uploading it again and it said complete. So I was like, okay, great. Because it takes a second to process it. So then I go to bed. Before I go to bed, I text you. I'm like, okay, it should be up soon. Then I go to bed and I wake up. I look at my emails and I see that it said error processing the episode. And I was like, what? So I opened up my audio and there's absolutely no wavelengths, nothing at all. It's like I didn't even connect a microphone to it or something. I'm so confused because I checked it 10 times, but yeah, it just has not been our week.
But we're here. It does suck, but I mean, it happens. This is most likely going to be going up on a Tuesday. So happy Tuesday, guys.
Happy Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the Super Bowl.
Today, we are going to be talking about Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen.
Mm-hmm. So normally we start these off by saying a spoiler-free summary, and then we guess how the other person feels about the book because we don't tell each other before. Mm-hmm. And again, like last week, which is, I'm getting deja vu because with Honey Girl, we already knew because we had filmed it already. So again, we already know how the other person feels, but I do want to say that I guessed Cheli right. And honestly, that's all that matters.
And I do want to say that I guessed Yajaira 100% right.
No, you didn't.
Because no one can prove that or disprove it.
You said you weren't going to gaslight me in this episode, you liar.
I didn't say that.
Oh my God. You know, I actually have it on here that you did. So
I don't know what you're
clip
about.
Right now.
But why don't we start off with our spoiler-free summary? You gave it last time, so go ahead if you want to give your same summary.
Okay. So we want to apologize beforehand if we butcher these names. You listened to the audiobook.
Audio.
I didn't, but I did look up pronunciations afterwards. I don't think these are going to be perfect, though. But okay, so the main character's name is Simidele. Or Simi. And she was remade as a Mami Wata, which translates to Mother of Water, which means she's a mermaid. And at the beginning of the story, her sole purpose was to gather the souls of slaves that get tossed out of the ships and pass in the sea. She would collect their souls to guide them to Olodumare. Olodumare is an omnipotent deity, and he oversees the Orisas, which are spirits that keep things in order, as well as punish anyone out of line. When Simi saves Kola from dying, it causes a ripple effect due to the law that she unintentionally broke, which puts all of the Mami Wata in danger. Simi goes on this quest with Kola and hopes to summon Olodumare to ask for forgiveness. But in order to do that, she needs obsidian rings as a piece of the summoning ritual, and Kola happens to know where they're at.
Nice. That is a good summary, but this book is super dense. So I do recommend maybe go read it because even though we are going to spoil the fuck out of it right now, it's still not even going to touch the surface of this book. No. So go read it because it will make it a lot easier for you to understand the next part of our podcast.
Yeah, and we would say if you enjoy fantasy stories, if you enjoy mermaid stories, the hero's journey trope, then we would definitely recommend this book for you.
Yeah, and I think we should just start because I don't think we have to guess each other's ratings.
No, but you know what? We're not going to tell anybody our ratings, so.
Okay, that's fine with me. Why don't we just start by talking about our main character, Simi, which Yajaira just said. Simi is a Mami Wata, which is a mermaid who collects those who didn't have proper burials who are thrown in the sea. And just for like the time reference, this is around the 1400s when Portugal was first taking people from Africa to sell them as slaves in Europe. So the people that she collects are usually people that are thrown off of slave boats. And this beginning of the story is so well written because it's just her collecting a woman who was thrown out of a slave boat and is dead. And she's so like
transfixed.
So torn. Yeah, transfixed and torn about it because she doesn't know why she feels connected to this lady if she never knew this lady. And you just get a sense of how lonely Simi feels because
Since
after a while after a while she's like, oh, my mom used to look like that when I was human, but I'm not human anymore and I'm never going to have a mom anymore. Yeah. And it's such a fucked up feeling.
Yeah. And when she was remade into a Mami Wata, her memories actually went away from her. Like she doesn't recall much of anything at all. The only times that she gets glimpses of her memories is when she's outside of the ocean, like when she's basking in the sun, like on the sand or something. And she does she does go from having legs to having a tail once she's in the water. So she can like blend in if needed. But really her main purpose in the beginning of the story is just to collect souls and then pass them on to Yemoja, which she is one of the Orisas.
Yes. So just to let you know too, Simi is the only Mamiwata who feels the need to become human often, because we do get her having a conversation with another Mamiwata, and it's just seen as weird, the fact that she wants to be a human. Like, it's not something that Mamiwatas really want.
Yeah, and I think it's not really that she wants it, but she kind of has this weird feeling of, oh, I feel like I'm missing something. And because she
Yeah.
doesn't immediately remember, her humanity yet. So a lot of the other Mamiwatas or even Yamoja is just like, well, you need to just let it go because you need to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, which is just collecting the souls.
Yep. So that's basically Simi, the beginning of the story, Simi. I want to say that when I started this story, I immediately liked her. I felt like she was a really sad character. And I think it's pretty consistent throughout, because even though she does build relationships throughout the story, she still remains lonely because she knows that's kind of how it's just supposed to be.
Yeah, because Yamoja does warn her very early on that if she were to ever feel, some type of love for anyone, she would be turned into a spuma, which is foam. So
Yeah.
sea foam, pretty much. And so she always has that in the back of her mind. She always has the she just always knows that she can't cross a boundary between any of the humans. And I definitely felt for her too, as well as you, Cheli, because I just love the way that Natasha wrote her, more specifically, like the way that she wrote her emotions, because even when she starts to feel jealous or envious of other people's relationships with each other, I was just like, damn, I know that she can never just let go for a moment because she knows that she can't have that.
Yeah. And it's really sad, but her life immediately changes, because there is one day where she is swimming next to a boat that is carrying a lot of slaves, and she's kind of waiting because she sees that sharks are kind of surrounding the boat. So she's like, yeah, that's kind of a signal that someone is about to be thrown off. And she sees someone get thrown off, but unlike the other bodies that are thrown off, this person is still alive.
Yeah. And she kind of faces this conflict because she's like, okay, I'm supposed to collect the souls of the dead, but he's not dead. So, and it's so sad because I think it was the day before when Yamoja was like, don't forget your responsibilities. And she's like, don't worry, Queen, I won't. But then
Queen, I would never forget.
I would never forget what you just told me. She sees this boy who's thrown off of the ship, and she just ends up saving him. Like, she ends up grabbing him, swimming towards the shore, and she starts nursing him back to health.
And can you remind me, because this is the introduction of our character Cola. I don't remember how Cola reacts when he first sees her.
So in the beginning, I feel like it was so funny because immediately I loved Simi. I wasn't sure about Cola because she nurses him back to health, right? But his immediate response isn't to be like, oh my God, thank you so much for saving me. It's more of like, oh my God, I need to go back home because my family needs me. I know what you are. I know that you're a Mamiwata, so I need you to summon Yamoja because she's going to help me, save my family and all that. And even Simi was like, you're welcome, I guess. So,
yeah.
And I do think that eventually he does thank her, but he's very much focused on getting to his family. Like, the desperation was very evident in the beginning. And I understand why he would be so mistrusting. I mean, especially after what he had just gone through. But, yeah, that was kind of like his introduction, like our first impression of him. But I will say that I did end up loving his character, like the progression of his character and the growth. And when we slowly started to learn more about his family and why he was so desperate to get back to them, I definitely did love his character.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, because I feel like that was a big thing with a lot of the human characters. The sense of trust wasn't something that was automatic. It had to be built on like a lot of things that Simi would do for them.
Yeah, I know. And I definitely appreciated that. Like, that slow progression, especially the relationship between Simi and Cola. Like, it was so slow. And so once Simi does summon Yamoja's immediately like, what the fuck? I just told you that you can't. Queen, sorry.
Queen, I'm sorry. You never told me that. She's gaslighting Yamoja.
Enough with the gaslighting. You can't gaslight Yamoja.
Yamoja's like, I literally told you I'm a queen, I'm a god. It's like, you never told me.
You never said that to me.
You never told me that. You actually told me the opposite.
What I thought was kind of interesting, because like, to realize how set these people are, like the Mamiwata, and how loyal they have to be to Yamoja, that nobody else questioned their responsibilities, that when Simi tells her, oh, well, I mean, you never told me I couldn't save someone, it just threw Yamoja off. She was like, what do you mean? I didn't know that I had to tell you that. Because her saving Cola was breaking a law for the Mamiwata. So they were in danger now of being punished by Oludemare.
That is the creator of everything. So the only way that Simi can really fix what she's done is go to the creator, Oludemare, and ask for forgiveness for what she's done in order to like undam the Mamiwata.
And so the way that she has to summon Oludemare is by obtaining 2 obsidian rings, and the 2 obsidian rings are being held onto by a priest. And it just so happens that Cola knows who this priest is because where he lives is right next to his hometown. So he tells her, well, you know, you're already going that way anyway. So they decide to do this like quest together.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit because throughout, because I want to talk more about the main island part of the journey. But I just want to say throughout Simi and Cola going to his home, they do get a lot closer. And I kind of really love the fact that the way that they are seems like it's things that they can't control doing. Like just little touches or being close to each other or reaching out when one of them walks away.
What really like got to me was when they would be in close proximity because, you know, maybe she would slip or something. Because she is so used to being in the water that sometimes she gets pains when she's in her human form for too long. And so there were a lot of moments where he would have to like hold on to her or help her up or just like, you know, be close to her. Yeah. And she would be so overcome by his smell that it would throw her off and she'd be like, oh my God, focus. And
it's funny because like she's not human either. And although she's gaining parts of her humanity back, you can tell not all of it is completely back because there was one point where he got really close to her and she was getting nervous. But the way that like Natasha Bowen described it was Simi was feeling this weird feeling in her stomach when she knows something's wrong. It's like, oh, that's so...
I know. I freaking loved it. I like that attention to detail of her character.
So by the time they reach Cola's home, they've already developed a trust like big enough for him to like want to continue this journey. You know what I mean?
Like the idea of her going off on her own kind of stressed him out a little bit.
Yeah, and he would constantly like be concerned too because she technically doesn't have to wait for him or stay, but she does. And even them being in Cola's home, when she's introduced to Cola's mom, at first she's untrusting. And you can see it, but it's because they just really care about Cola. Yeah. And I think, you need to remind me the name. The person who is Cola's friend who was supposed to marry him.
Yinka. So Yinka was actually betrothed to him. Dude, that was so juicy. When they revealed that, I was like, damn.
I could have had it all. Dude, but I fucking loved her because everyone just loved Cola and they wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to get hurt.
But when Kola reveals to certain people, like, oh, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Simi. She saved me. I really loved seeing people immediately like adore her for that. They were just like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like we're indebted to you pretty much. Like that's how much they like appreciated her for that.
Yep. I do really want to say that I loved that scene because it was sad. That scene where she is meeting Cola's family and she gets this memory of when she was human, and it's just her cooking with her mom, and it was food for her dad, and it was just a very wholesome moment. And it's sad because even though this book has a lot of found family, it's as if Simi knows that she can never have that. So even if it's presented to her, she can never accept it because she's a Mamiwata.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's enticing her, right? Like, yes, you're on this very, very important quest, but look at this cute family.
Yeah.
This could be you one day, possibly.
Oh, God, it's so sad because she's just on the sidelines all the time, even though you can tell Kola doesn't want her to feel that way.
Yeah, he's trying to include her more in, his home. But obviously, I think she just always reminds herself that I can't have this.
Yeah.
But there's a character we totally forgot to mention.
I was gonna say that right now. Are you fucking thinking about Issa?
Yeah, because so during their journey, before they even get to Kola's hometown, which is Oko, they stumble upon this little, I can't remember if it was an island or if it was just like in the midst of the woods. They are in this place, which is a home for the Yumbos, which are pretty much like smaller people, I believe. And one of the characters is named Issa, and he's he's young. And when he learns that they need to get to Oko to get to Kola's hometown, he's like, I can take you guys there. I know all of the secrets, guys, okay? I know like the secret pathways and whatever, like the fastest way. And so they agree. And it's so sad because Issa is definitely he's just a boy, right? And he tries so hard to form this connection with the both of them. And him and Kola immediately clicked, right? Which caused a bit of jealousy with Simi, because she was like, damn, like I can't have that. And so she was a little bit, I feel like in the beginning, she was mistrusting towards him, but I think it was mostly because of her jealousy. And there was a moment where Issa is having them go through this like faster route, but then a creature pops out of the water and hurts Kola, and it attacks them, but I think Kola ends up getting hurt. And Simi is immediately like, oh my God, like I thought you knew this place really well. Like, why would you take us here? Or you should have known, kind of making him feel bad for his mistake. And he was like, I swear, like they're never around this area at this time of the season. And so I really loved him. I really loved his relationship with Kola because they definitely formed like a brother bond.
Yeah.
But
it was really sad too, because when it starts getting to the end and they start realizing that they're going to have to go to a far away place that's going to be incredibly dangerous to get these rings, Simi kind of comes to the realization like, hey, Issa's really young. He shouldn't be coming with us on this journey. And Kola agrees, but he's a boy. So he's like, no, I could go. I promise I'll be great. Like I won't cause any trouble. And in order to shake him off, Kola's like, you're not even family. I don't even see you as a brother. You need to go.
It's so sad, dude. Like I was literally suppressing tears because he was like, because the thing about Issa was that he always wanted to be useful, right? He wanted to be helpful.
Yeah.
Like even throughout the whole journey. So when the only way for Kola to get him to leave was to tell him, we don't need you. And that hurt me so badly. I was like, damn, that cut deep. But Issa does sneak into the freaking boat though, so he does end up going. But that was really sad though, that he said that.
Yeah. It was really sad. So they go on this boat, and can you remind me why they're going to this island?
So when they get to Oko, which is Cola's home, the priest is like right next door, right? And so they go to the priest, and Simi is telling him, like, I really need these obsidian rings because I made this mistake, and I just really need to talk to Oludumer. And the priest is like, damn, I really wish I could help you, but I actually gave them to the twins. And the twins were actually taken by Esu, or Isu?
Isu.
Isu. So we didn't mention Isu yet, but Isu is pretty much like the villain
A
of
jealous
the
god.
Yeah. He is
Right?
like a, well, is he a god? I don't know if he's a god.
I think he is. I don't know.
So Isu is pretty much like the main villain of the story, and he is Oludumer's like messenger, like his right hand person, pretty much. And he is known to be a trickster. So even from the very beginning, Yamoja warned Simi that you need to be careful during your journey because Isu will also want, the same thing. Like he also covets the rings because if he has the rings in his possession, then he will be able to overthrow Oludumer and become, all powerful. And so, so when they get to the priests, they're like, oh, he already took the twins. So the twins are actually the reason why Cola was so desperate to go back home. The twins are his siblings. And the siblings are actually Orisas themselves. So there's a prophecy for the twins where they will bring balance into the world. But, if something happens to them, then it'll start causing like a rift. And through the journey, they do notice that things are like slowly dying. And then also Simi has these like visions or
like
these
visions.
dreams or like there's something that's telling her that, oh, in the future, everything's going to be dead. And so she knows that she has to get to the rings and then get to the twins before Isu. But obviously, once they get there, it's too late. And so I really like this moment, though, because they form a plan, right, to get to the island. But the way that they do it is they put the map or they make the map in Simi's hair. So I just thought that was cool that they added that there. So once they're going on their trip, they get on the boat and it's Simi, it's Cola, it's Cola's bodyguard, Ifidayo, which Ifidayo was like someone renowned in his like home. And his dad was pretty much like, you can't go on this trip without him because I trust him with my life pretty much. And so he's there. And then Yinka, which was his, supposed to be betrothed, but you know how that goes. And Bem and Issa, but Issa's hidden at the moment. So it's
and they
them.
don't know. They don't know at this point, right?
Yeah, they don't know when they're on the boat.
Okay.
But they're on the boat, and then everyone's sleeping. And Simi kind of realizes, you know what? We're going to go against Isu. There's no way that we are going to win. So she needs a backup plan, right? She needs to make sure that they are going to win at the end. So what she decides to do is she gets into the water. She swims down into the deepest depths, which is pretty much like a prison. And she finds an Orisa who is Olokun. And he is pretty much imprisoned there. And she makes this deal with him where he will help her, but she has to give him something in return. But at this moment, we don't know what that is because he whispers it into her ear and she just reluctantly accepts.
Yeah. And it's really sad because when she comes back up to the boat, is Cola already awake?
Everyone's awake at this point.
But Cola's like the first one to go up to her, and he was like really worried because he was so sure that she had just left.
Yeah, he thought that she was gone. I thought it was Yinka who pulled her up. No, I could be wrong. Who cares? Just
it might have been, but I do know that at this point, Cola basically revealed to everyone.
Yeah,
that
he had
Simi's
to.
a Mamiwata.
He had to because everyone was like, where the fuck did she go?
I don't know. Maybe she's just walking around the boat and you're just not walking in the same spot. You ever think of that?
Oh my God, you're so right. Because it's such a big boat, huh?
I know. No, but it's a really, I guess, cute. I don't know how you want to say it, but it's a little endearing because no one is mad at her or scared of her. Everyone's just kind of okay with it. And
they just accept it.
Yeah, even Yinka, she doesn't talk to her at first, but Cola's like, no, don't you see? She's looking at you in awe. But he's like kind of joking around. But she does at this point and after this point become Simi's friend in a way.
Yeah, like they actually form a connection together. And Yinka even tells her like, oh, I feel like I understand you more now. But yeah, I love them together. Yeah. I even highlighted a part when they were like talking. I was like, dude, Yinka and Simi forever. Forever, ever.
Dude, yeah. I can't remember the scene, but there was one part where it was the first time Yinka smiled at Simi.
I remember that.
Dude.
I love them.
But they go on this, or they go to this island and there's like obstacle after obstacle. These bitches
go through it. And also there's a lot of creatures around as well because they're protecting Isu. I
don't remember the order of how people die. So do you want to remind me?
I don't remember exactly. You know what? They hurt so much that one of them I blacked out. So there's a moment where there's like these hyena hybrids and they are in their human form after attacking them. And they are talking to them and they're just like, hey, sorry, you're going to have to die. And so they look at Yinka and they're just like, you know, I think you're one of us because Yinka actually was adopted into the Oko place, which Cola's from. And so they don't really know her origin story, like where she was born. And so they kind of hint at her, hey, we think you're a hyena hybrid like us, you know? And so there's a fight that happens. And then at the end of it, Yinka stays behind and she kind of looks at everyone. She's like, just go and just leave me, right? So Simi is the last one to look at her because everyone already went through like this, I think it was like a cave or something, or like they were going into like a little narrow pathway. Yeah. And so everyone's already off on the other side and Simi looks at her and she does end up leaving, but as she's leaving, she hears screams and she doesn't know exactly what happened, but they all assume that she's dead. And I'm hoping she's not, but she might be. I don't know for sure.
I'm hoping she's not either.
Yeah. And then, dude, Issa? I was so stressed because he does end up dying, and for sure, like there's no doubt about it. And I knew that it was gonna happen. Like I just knew it in my bones that we were gonna lose him because he was such a precious little character. And so when he ends up dying, it's really sad because Cola feels like almost at fault because he promised Issa's father that he would make sure that nothing bad happens to him.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, Issa, like, he should have gone home, but he didn't. So I don't remember what happened to Ben at all.
One moment Bem's there, and then they turn around and they're like,
he's gone. Bem go? He disappeared. So at the end, it's just Simi, Cola, and Ifedayo. And then there's a little twist, a little twist that I was actually like surprised by. I don't know if you were surprised by it when you read this. Turns out that Ifedayo is actually Isu. He was like, yeah, Simi, I knew all along what you were doing. Like, I was there with you the whole way. But I don't know why, but I always love those moments like that villains have when they're like, oh, I knew what you were doing the whole time. Like, you know, like the hero thinks they're being super sneaky, but it's like, no, I was actually watching you from right up above you.
Damn. I was shocked too. I didn't expect it.
No, I didn't
but,
either.
I mean, Isu is known for trickery. And I think it's kind of, I don't know. I didn't really mind that Isu wasn't completely in the whole story because he did loom throughout the story.
Yeah, he
if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's something you didn't bring up?
What?
The fact that there was one point where Simi was talking to Yamoja and we saw her face in scars.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Dang, I feel like, you know what? If you're here, thank you. So in the beginning, when Yamoja is upset because of what Simi did.
Very beginning.
Yeah, in the very, very beginning. Yamoja has always been very beautiful, right, to Simi. But then Simi sees her a little bit more clearly in this moment, and she sees like a more vulnerable side to her because she looks completely distressed about what Simi did, like her breaking the law. And you see scars in her face. And she kind of alludes to, oh, this is what happens when, you disobey Oludumare or, And so they think that, or Simi thinks that Isu did this because Oludumare wanted this to be done. Like he wanted to punish them. So obviously the stakes were higher, right? Because they think of Oludumare as someone who is not that very nice. And so, yeah, I should have brought that up, but I totally missed that.
But wasn't that something that Isu controlled? Was it?
So it is revealed at the end that it was actually done just by Isu's judgment alone. Oludumare didn't tell him to punish Yamoja for what she had done in the past. But Isu was like, well, I mean, I know the best way to have done this. And so, I don't know. Yeah. Like his thinking is just really crazy, because he does seem very unhinged. But there was a moment where he's talking to Simi and he's just like, well, how do you know that I won't make this world better, right? And she was like, well, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like the way that he was going about it was just scary.
So I want to kind of skip a little bit, but when they see that Ifedayo is Isu, I think it's Kola who starts fighting him and is like, go get the twins. They are both in cages. Are they in the same cage?
I believe so, yeah.
They're both in a cage. You need to go save them, Simi. And Simi goes and doesn't really see Kola or Isu fighting, but is later approached by Kola, who's completely bloody and is holding a key and is like, hey, here you go. Here's the key. Get my brother and sister out. But it's like super weird.
Yeah, but at this point, she's already in front of the cage and she has already spoken to the twins for like a second. Because the twins are both kind of like, who are you and where's our brother? And she tries to tell them like, no, he told me to come down here and get you guys out. And so that's when he staggers in and he hands her the key. And so she does end up opening the cage. And what we have already known this. And the twins have the rings, right? The obsidian rings. But the only way to take it from them is if they give it to you willingly. And so Kola like tells them, okay, guys, we need to get out of here. We need to go before Isu comes back. Give me your rings. And Taiwo, which was the little boy, he was, no hesitation. He was about to hand it to him. But Kehinde, which is the girl, she was like, nah. She was like, no.
That's going to be a no from me, big brother.
I wish she would have said that.
But she says no, and they automatically see that it wasn't Kola, it's Isu. Just fucking another trick up his sleeve, because why the fuck not?
Because he's just a trickster, he's kind of funny. A little clown.
I don't remember the beats of this part, but I do know that Kola comes, and he's fucked up, right?
They have this moment, Simi and Isu, and then Kola shows up, and again they start fighting again. And I love that Simi starts thinking like, okay, how do I beat him? And the only way to beat him is if she tries to outsmart him, right? And so she tells him, okay, if you can solve this riddle, I can tell you where the ring is, because Taiwo had his ring, but Kahinda had hid her ring. And she was like, I can tell you where it's at. And obviously, Isu is the trickster, okay? He's the trickster. And so he was like laughing about it. He was like, you're not going to win this one. And so she tells him the riddle. I don't remember the riddle, but I remember the answer was infinity. And he was so proud of himself, you know, gave himself a little pat in the back and everything. And so they end up going into the water because that's where the ring is. And so they end up going into the water, deep down into the depths. And then what happens, Cheli?
Well, that was kind of completely planned because remember, Simi's a Mamiwata. She's a mermaid. So this is her elements. Yeah. So she fucks him up, dude. And I think she like restrains him down there. So Isu is down there and she finds the ring and comes back up.
So Olukun had the ring and he gave it to her.
Yes. But remember, I think at this point says, thank you for helping and I will return my end of the bargain, because she did promise something if he helped. Mm-hmm. So she goes back up. And Kola is there waiting for her. And
no, Kola is dying, girl. Dying.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, my God, I fucking forgot. Oops.
You blacked out.
Wait, it's because, okay, I do want to say, because I do want to say, because I said this in the last episode, throughout this entire, like, journey, like, in this island, I fucking thought Kola was gonna die the whole time. Yeah. So when she finally got that ring, I was like, oh my God, thank fucking God he didn't die. Dude, I don't know. I just was so happy, you know? And then she came up.
Me too.
Then she came up and that bitch was like already halfway gone, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and it was so emotional because obviously she's been collecting souls. I mean, I know she's been on vacation for a while, but she does start seeing like pieces of his soul, or like, you know, his soul coming up, and she's like, oh shit, we're losing him. Mm-hmm. I was stressed.
But he does end up, I think his soul does entirely leave his body, right?
I think so too. I'm not 100% sure, but the twins, remember, they're super powerful, and the twins end up reviving him.
So the soul just goes back in. You know how souls do.
Yeah, I love when they do that, honestly. Just go back in.
And his eyes flutter, and he's good. He's good.
The end.
You know? I know. And then you should stop reading at that point, actually.
Just stop. Just stop. Don't read the ending.
It kind of sucks. You brought this up last time, and I do want to say that now that you brought it up, I kind of wish too that Simi would have told Kola about this bargain she made.
I know.
I wish that it would have been brought up.
Me too, because I feel like it's so, I don't know, like it just feels so much worse, because obviously they did it, right? They set out what they did. They saved the twins. Isu dead. Well, he's gone. And Kola sees her, and then he's like, okay, babe, let's do this. Not really, but, you know, he's looking at her with hopes in his eyes. His eyes are sparkling.
Babe, can I call you babe?
Can I call
Don't make it weird. Hold my hand.
Babe, please. Please, babe.
It really sucks, because the reason I think that Simi never said anything is I feel that if she had, she would have known that he would have done something that probably would have broken that barrier of like friends to something romantic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In the desperation of knowing that their time is limited, then maybe they would have done something or tried to kiss or whatever. But Kola was aware that it was dangerous for her to do anything. And I think that's why he also never crossed that boundary, because something that we didn't bring up was that Isu would kind of like taunt her with it, like that knowledge of, you know, her liking Kola and knowing that that's what she wants, right? Like she wants to kind of have this humanity again. And so he kind of mentioned it to her near the end. He was like, are you sure you don't want to be on my side? Because if you're on my side, I can make you human again. Very Ursula vibes. And she was just like, no, bitch, I'm loyal to Yamoja and Yamoja only. But then he also did, I don't know, he had that moment where we've talked about it in another episode where the villain or whoever is like, oh, you guys like each other, right? Oh, that sucks. You guys can't be together. Like, you know what I mean? Like when they what is it called? When they get into the relationship drama, or they, I don't know. It becomes their problem, right?
Yeah. Yes. And it sucks because she does end up telling Cola. Does she? Does she tell him what's going on?
Yeah. So they have a moment and he's looking at her like, okay, what happened? And she tells him that she made a vow to Olokun. And he's like, okay, how? When did this happen? And she tells him, it was that day on the boat, whatever. And she tells him that Isu was right, that they could never be together. She says, I'm sorry, I should have told you earlier, but at least this way you're safe, and the twins and Oku. And he's just so like, okay, wait, what did you do? And so she tells him, she says, I agreed to help Olokun fight the loneliness he faces, to shoulder the burden he bears. I promise to make the land of the dead my home. And that's when he's just like, you're leaving.
And it sucks too because they're standing and he has his hand on her back and it explains it. I love how this fucking part is written. It's explaining how Simi is crying, but as the tears are running down, she throws herself into the sea and the tears disappear with the sea, as she does too.
Yeah.
And that's how the book ends. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. I love how Natasha writes.
Me too.
I need to get to the second book.
Dude, same. And we didn't mention this, but it was a debut novel. This was her first.
Wow. That is really, I forgot that was her debut novel because she did an amazing job for her first book, of course. So I think that's something that I never really, I don't know. It's not that I didn't notice it, but I didn't take it in, Sometimes the dedications in these books are so amazing. Let me read you the dedication in this book, okay? It says, to my mom, who couldn't read very well, but made sure I did. Bro, that dedication, I read that and it made me teary-eyed. That is so fucking beautiful.
That is. You told me that last time we tried filming this. And that was the first time I had heard it. I know. We got a little emotional at the end, actually.
I know. No, for real. Emotional again.
Dude,
but that's
really
beautiful.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but anything else you want to bring up about the story? Anything that happened? The characters?
I just want to say that I really appreciate that even though this is a YA book, it still went above and beyond and tackled really, loneliness was tackled in a very realistic way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because sometimes I feel with certain books, and it doesn't even have to be YA, I feel like they want to rush to the good part. They don't take the time to progress their characters or make the relationships get to a solidified point. You know what I mean? They want to get there immediately. So
yeah,
I appreciated that everything was kind of a process for all of them.
Yeah, no, I definitely love that as well. And you brought up a point last time that I agree with. So you mentioned how sometimes in some YA novels, it kind of feels very fan fiction-y.
You said the word. You said the word.
No. Okay, well, how do I bleep that?
F-word. We're trying to get monetized here.
I'm sorry. Okay. Whoa, have we said any bad words? Yes, we have. Me. Yeah. Cut to me saying anyway, doesn't matter. So, because I feel YA novels sometimes rely heavily on certain tropes and they don't really develop the tropes. So it's very, very rushed. And that was something that I didn't really realize when we talked about it the first time, because I definitely feel that this book did a great job for a YA novel. Not saying that we haven't read amazing YA novels before, but it, when you read it and it's like, wait, this is a YA novel?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I was so in love with this book. After reading it, I'm already kind of like, I know who I'm gonna get a copy of this book for. Because I
know.
I want everyone to read this book.
And that is something that I freaking love about Cheli. Like, Cheli, anytime you read something that you really resonate with, or you feel like will resonate with someone else, you'll literally buy them a copy of the book, which I think is so sweet.
Well, we've all kind of developed kind of a habit of making this a community for ourselves. And I'm saying us because it's you, me, and our friend Melissa. Because I love that we annotate books. You know what I mean?
I know. We annotate each other's books.
I was talking to Melissa because we are going to get a copy of our book signed for a certain novel that we have. And I was talking to our friend Melissa, and I was telling her, because she was a little bummed because she's like, I'm not going to go to this book signing, and I really wanted to go, but I don't know if I could get a book and just have you pick it up for me because it's under my name. And I told her, I was like, well, I bought a copy of the book unsigned, and I'm pretty sure when we go, we're going to get a signed copy. So I could just give you my book. Like, I don't have a problem with that. And she was like, oh, that would be really sweet. And I was like, oh, I hope you don't mind, though, that I'm going to annotate it a lot. And she was like, no, that makes it even better. It's really sweet.
Oh, well, she already read it, so.
I know, dude.
You're not going to sway her thoughts or anything.
Oh
that's
my
how,
God.
I want you to annotate my books, but then I'm like, oh, but what if she sways me? What if she brings up a good point?
You like white out the parts you don't agree with.
I know. I'm like, she never said that.
But it's really sweet because we've done that with each other's books too. I feel like it's like you're reading with someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We would definitely recommend. It's so fun. I always look forward to seeing what you have to say about certain parts.
Yeah.
I just want to add one thing. There was a moment that I really, really appreciated that happened. So they come across a slave ship, right? In the beginning of their journey to Oko. And when they come across this slave ship, they realize that it's actually been overtaken by people liberating slaves. And the main person's name is Aboyomi.
Yes.
Aboyomi.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a moment when Aboyomi looks at Kola, and Kola, I don't know if he tells him that he was in a slave ship or if he can just like see it in his eyes. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, I forgot about
But he literally
this.
just hugs Kola, and he's just like, he just says, I'm sorry that this happened to you. And it was such a like real, raw, emotional moment that I was so like, it made me so emotional. And I was so glad that Kola was able to have that, like,
Yeah.
have someone. I mean, obviously it wasn't his doing, but so,
no,
like,
but have someone understand who
those two characters.
Yep. I appreciate it too. I thought it was really good. Do you want to go to overall thoughts?
So, my overall thoughts of this book was that I absolutely loved this story so much. I was immediately connected to Simi's character. I loved the way that Natasha introduced her character, but also developed her character. I feel like it was very, very relatable. That feeling of loneliness and longing for something that she couldn't have. And Kola's character as well, I thought was done so well. Like, I ended up really loving him. I love how he just kind of has like this big brother feel to him, like, because he cared for Issa, and then he loved the twins and he protected them, and then everyone in his hometown loved him and respected him. So I loved both of the characters, but then together, and not much happened. Really, like, it was like the tiniest little bit of crumbs here and there that we would get from them. But I feel like I'm so in love with where their relationship is going, or could go, I guess, because, you know, it didn't end very happy for them. But I am rooting for them. I really, really want them to somehow be together, which, you know, at this point, like, there's no indication if that's even possible.
Yeah.
Which I think makes this even more exciting. So I'm just excited to get to the second one. I loved the world I love the world that this story had. And let me think. And just, I don't know, like just the relationships in it as well.
What are you going to give it?
I would give it a 5 out of 5. I feel like this is definitely, I know it's only February, but like this is definitely like one of the best books that I've read. Like I love this book so much.
We've been reading bangers after bangers. That's not including Hellbent. I'm sorry, but
not including Hellbent, not including Bound by Honor.
Oh my God. Sorry. I freaking repressed that one.
Not including Honey Girl. Just keep going.
Dude, but
it's
I
only
feel
left
like
with 2.
I feel like 2023, we're going to read really good books. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
I really, really hope so.
I agree with you. I loved the relationship. And I also love like this type of forbidden love, because usually in that trope, forbidden love is very like societal sometimes, where it's like, oh, you're not supposed to love me because of society. But this one's like, no, if you love me, I will turn into espuma, foam. Like you literally can't love me. So I like that there's that sense of it's just no possible way that it could happen. And it makes me sad, but so excited to read the second one, and so excited to see hopefully more of Simi actually being a Mamiwata, because we never really got to see that in the first book. So I am hoping for that. I did want to kind of geek out. You know me. I really love
geeking out.
I really love the fact that this story followed the hero's journey really well. And if you know Greek mythology, any type of mythology, a lot of stories back then that had to do with myths and legends always followed the hero's journey, which basically starts with a character who is given this call to adventure. And they are given a little bit of supernatural aid, and they go from the known to the unknown. And this journey, like at the point of like everything being found out, it usually ends with them dying and returning. And it's a lot. And I feel like our hero did this full circle. And I'm so fucking excited. Like, it made me so happy to see this, because I like recognized it, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm fucking here for this shit.
And I fucking love that whole journey, you know, that trope and everything. And I obviously knew, but I didn't know that it followed it so well, but it really does.
I really enjoyed how this was written too. I think it's just Natasha Bowen's writing. She sounds so... It's like so beautiful the way that she writes. She's able to convey emotions and feelings so well. And she doesn't like sacrifice anything in it. So she won't sacrifice like character development or characterizations to make them feel a certain emotion. Because I feel like sometimes with writing, because you want the audience to feel a certain way, sometimes your characters will act out of character for you to hate them, for you to feel bad for them. And it felt so realistic to read this story. And I can't wait to read the second one. I don't know if we're going to read the second one on the podcast, but honestly, if you wanted to, I'm so down.
Yes, we are.
Dude, okay, good. I was nervous.
Of course we are.
This feels kind of like...
Cancel our plans. We're doing it.
This feels kind of like Bridge Kingdom. How when we read it, we were like, wouldn't it be funny if we read the second one? And then
we did that night.
If you think about it, we've done that twice. Because then after that, we read Battle of Blood. And then immediately read Queen of Myth and Monster.
Wow, this year. Going strong.
I know. Oh, yeah. And then Ninth House and Hellbent.
Right. Right.
Oh, dude.
Well, that wasn't because we were like, whoa, so good. Let's read
that. That wasn't willing. That was forced.
We're so mean.
Dude, it was so funny. I went to Target the other days with my brothers and I was pointing at books and I was like, I read that one. I haven't heard of it. I was pointing and then I saw Hellbent and I was like, don't read this. Don't read it. Don't even look at it.
And they were like, we weren't going to read any of these, actually.
I know.
That's what my brother does to me, too. He's like, I don't really read hardly ever, so.
Don't worry. I won't. I promise. But I didn't even say it. I'd also give this story a 5 out of 5. It was a fucking good read.
And like I said, I guess you're right. So, I guess I'm getting good at this. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Maybe you are. But thank you so much for listening. If you are listening to us in podcast form, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts on, thank you so much. If you can leave a rating of 5 stars and a review letting us know how we did, it really helps, mostly with the ratings. It really, I feel like it exposes and recommends us more to others. Mm-hmm. So thank you for those of you who are doing that. And if you haven't, just take a few seconds and do it right now.
Yeah, we would really, really appreciate it.
If you would like to tell your friends, family, loved ones about us, exposure is best done through word of mouth. If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you. If you can like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because we post every Tuesday/Thursday when our audio is not playing tricks on us.
When the stars are aligned, because damn, it's been a rough week.
And if you want to just support us even more, just like a little more, join
just go above and beyond.
Join our Patreon because we're trying to form a community of readers, and it would be really nice for you to join us there just to get a little bit of extra behind the scenes stuff too.
Yeah, we're going to have exclusive content on there, and we also want our listeners to become more involved in the episodes that we make, and I think that would be a great way. And hopefully eventually we can even form like a book club or something.
Dude, I know that would be so fun.
But if you're interested, go ahead and find us on patreon.com/bookfix.
And if you want to follow us on social media, we do have an Instagram that we are going to have to be more active on ever since that TikTok scandal. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, it is at the Book
TikTok
Fix.
Scandal.
Oh my gosh, I'll talk to you after we say bye. At the Book Fix Pod, TheBookFixPod. If TikTok is still up, follow us on TikTok at the Book Fix, TheBookFix. Thank you. TikTok just got in trouble with the American government recently.
For what?
Apparently it's spyware. But I'm trying to think of like, okay, if they got a hold of our TikTok, what are they going to see? What are they going to see?
All of my drafts are already gone, so.
And all of my drafts are me just like using the same audio in different angles. So you're not going to find much.
So really, who's torturing who, okay?
I know. It's funny. I could see our FBI agent looking at it right now. And he's just like, oh my God, the Bridge Kingdom. Don't mind if I do.
Again? Damn.
These girls just don't stop. No, but why don't we end our episode like we usually do? Yajaira's going to roll a dice, and if it lands on an even number, we read a positive review of this book. And if it lands on an odd number, we read a negative review on this book. We are not connected to these reviews at all. We just read them and we leave them in the air. We don't talk about them unless you want to join our Patreon where we can talk about them. But,
yes, exactly.
But go ahead and roll your dice.
Okay. All right. We got a 5.
Which is an odd number. So I'm going to read a negative review of this book. And just to let you know, this book, overall, it looks like it got more 4-star reviews. Do you ever notice how Goodreads goes down very often, but Storygraph doesn't? Just wanted to let you guys know.
Yeah, that's why Storygraph is superior.
I'm just saying, like,
I'm just saying.
Use Storygraph this year.
Hear me out. And also Storygraph has, you can do 3.25, 3.75. More accurate.
Thank you. So let's go ahead. On Storygraph, it does have a 3.85 overall rating. Let me go ahead and read a negative review. It's kind of hard because can you set them in order by stars?
That's the only thing that I wish Storygraph would do is you can't filter through them, so you just have to kind of scroll down until you find a negative one.
I found one. So this was written by Hissing Potatoes, which honestly love that name. Is that your government name? Please let me know. Gave it 2 stars.
Is it Hissing Potatoes?
Hissing.
Or is Hissing Potatoes the first name?
No, the full name. Hissing Potatoes.
Kissing?
Hissing, like a cat.
Like a snake?
Yes. Okay. Hissing Potatoes gave this a 2 out of 5 stars and wrote, I loved exploring West and Central African mythology in a Little Mermaid retelling, but the narrative was slow and dry for me. The characters, one-dimensional.
Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye.
Bye. Are you ready?
Dude!
It's tomorrow.
Am I ready?
It's funny because
it's tomorrow for us, but it already happened for
if you're watching this episode on Tuesday, it already happened. If you're here with us somehow, our FBI agent, it's gonna happen. You know it's gonna happen.
It's just our FBI agent. Does that mean it's 2? Like, do we each?
No,
get
we
one?
share the same
do
one.
We just have one.
We share the same one.
Cute. I love that.
Love that for him. Love that for us. Oh my god.
So
dude.
I will tell you. I don't know if you've noticed, but I started.
Dude, don't say anything. I haven't been able to start.
Oh, do you want to know how far I am?
Yes.
I think I'm at 41%.
Dude, how? Oh my gosh, I just saw you.
You just saw me, dude. It surprisingly was unscribed. And for the people listening, we're talking about Infinite Threads by Tahira Mafi.
Yes. I'm surprised it's on Scribe so early. Maybe Tahira Mafi was like, get on it. Really funny.
Because I'm having a book signing. Hurry up.
Really funny, Tahira Mafi, that, you know, it's so fast on Scribed, but for some reason, every fucking Target I went to, it wasn't there. I don't know. I just got
I know. I was at Target too, and I didn't see it there. I thought about you.
Thank you, dude.
So to our listeners, we're gonna give you a little sneak peek. So we're gonna actually go to a book signing.
Yeah.
For Tahira Mafi's These Infinite Threads, which we talked about this Woven Kingdom. If you haven't listened to it, please check it out. And yeah, so this is probably the only release that all 3 of us were excited about. So you, me, and Melissa.
And my sister, who apparently was also really excited, which I don't even want to give her that one. I don't even want to give her that one, dude.
No, she was not. She's lying.
My sister hates everything. I love my sister. So. I know. I love my sister.
I love your
sister.
She's so critical. Too. Yeah, well, one of us has to be.